Beyond what we see, another world exists. A silent, invisible architecture that underpins our own. It flows constantly around us, through our homes and our cities. This is the world of data. It isn't made of steel or concrete, but of pure information. Every click and every transaction adds to this ceaseless current. To protect this world, we must understand its explorers. Today, the word hacker paints a dark picture. A digital thief, a cyber criminal. But this meaning has been twisted over time. We must travel back to its origin. Back to the 1960s at MIT. Here, hacker was a badge of honor. It describes someone with a playful curiosity. Someone who could make a system do something new. Their goal wasn't to break, but to understand. Our journey into the digital age begins not with a global web, but with a small, trusted circle. This was ARPANET, a project born from military research, but raised in the cooperative halls of academia. In these early days, the users formed a close-knit community. It was a system built entirely on shared goals and mutual trust. The idea of a malicious intruder was pure science fiction. Security as we know it was simply not part of the design. The network's primary purpose was to share information, not to guard it. And in this digital Eden, the seeds of a future conflict were quietly sown. As computers entered private homes, the digital world opened up. Public curiosity grew, but so did a new kind of anxiety. The media, searching for a villain, found one in the shadows. Early cybercrimes were amplified, fueling public fear. Hollywood, in turn, created a new, powerful archetype. The name they used was hacker, a term that was once a badge of honor for clever programmers was now stained with malicious intent. From the pages of fiction, the Black Hat was born. This potent myth transformed a nuanced subculture into a simple story of good versus evil. As digital systems expanded, a shadow grew with them. New threats emerged, complex and unseen. But for every action, there is a reaction. This response wasn't a dramatic battle. It was a quiet, logical evolution. The emergence of a necessary counterpart. They became known as ethical hackers or white hats. They used the same tools as their adversaries. But their purpose was entirely different: to build, not break. They were the system's first line of defense, born from within. To understand the white hat, you must look past the keyboard. Their primary motive is not malice, but a deep curiosity. A desire to understand how things work, down to the last line of code. But this curiosity is guided by a core principle. The principal desire to improve and protect. They see a vulnerability not as an opportunity for chaos, but as a puzzle to be solved. A flaw to be mended. Their reward is not in the breach, but in the fix. They're the digital world's architects, fortifying the foundations we all rely on. To find the flaw, you must know the law. The fundamental law of computer code. For an ethical hacker, this is the bedrock of their craft. Understanding programming isn't just a technical skill. It is an entirely new way of seeing the world. It grants the ability to look at a digital fortress and see not the walls, but the original blueprints. Each line reveals the architect's logic, the flow of instructions. This is how a hacker spots a crack in the foundation. A vulnerability born from a single misplaced assumption. If code is the language of a single machine, then networks are the great conversations between them. To decipher these talks, one must learn their grammar. The intricate and unforgiving rules of network protocols. This is a journey that demands immense patience. A hacker patiently learns how data is deconstructed and the complex, branching paths they travel across the globe. They learn to trace the invisible currents that carry our digital lives. This knowledge reveals how traffic can be intercepted or rerouted. It is like mastering a language so well you can finally hear the whispers. To know the code, to see the scheme, you must first understand the machine. In the digital world, this machine is driven by a powerful yet often invisible engine, the operating system. It's the very soul of our devices, the rules governing every action. For an ethical hacker, this is not abstract theory. It's the fundamental blueprint. They must achieve a deep knowledge of systems like Windows and Linux. This isn't just about memorizing commands. It's about understanding their core philosophies, their architectural strengths, and their inherent weaknesses. By knowing how a system is built, they can predict exactly how it might fail. The popular image of a hacker is one of chaotic destruction. But the reality of an ethical hacker is far different. Theirs is not the mindset of a wrecker, but the meticulous discipline of a builder. To truly test a fortress, one must first learn how the architect designed it. They deconstruct systems not with a sledgehammer, but with a blueprint. Every line of code, every network protocol is a brick in a vast structure. The goal is to understand how these bricks fit together, methodically. This is pure problem solving, a patient, logical process. They are testing the structural integrity of our digital world to ensure it can withstand the storm. In the world of hacking, a fine line separates a hero from a criminal. To walk in the shadow of a system, one must first be invited through the front door. This invitation is not a handshake. It is a formal legal contract. This document is the most critical tool for any ethical hacker. It establishes explicit permission to probe a company's defenses. Crucially, it defines the scope of the test. These are the digital walls the hacker must not cross. The scope dictates what systems are fair game and which are strictly off limits. This is the bedrock of ethical hacking, permission, formalized. So what is the formal name for this authorized assault? It's called a penetration test or pen test. Think of it as a simulated, authorized cyber attack. It is not a chaotic smash and grab. It is a methodical evaluation of security. The goal is to find vulnerabilities before a malicious actor does. Testers use the same tools and techniques as real-world attackers, but within the safe, agreed-upon boundaries. It is the art of breaking in, not to shatter, but to strengthen. Every digital attack begins not with a bang, but with a whisper. This is the world of the penetration test, a simulated assault to find weaknesses before real attackers do. The first phase is pure intelligence gathering, reconnaissance. The hacker operates from the shadows, sifting through publicly available information. They are building a comprehensive map of their target. Job listings reveal technologies in use. Employee profiles expose potential contacts. This entire phase is passive. No direct contact is made with the target's systems. Slowly, the target's digital footprint takes shape. No alarms are triggered. The target remains completely unaware. In the quiet hum of the internet, a blueprint for the attack is gathered, not made. With the map drawn, the operation shifts from passive observation to active probing. This is phase 2, scanning the perimeter. Using specialized tools, the hacker now makes first contact. It's the digital equivalent of walking around a building and checking every door and window. These scans probe the target for open ports, which are simply gateways that allow data to flow in and out. Each open port typically has a service running behind it. The goal is to identify these services and their versions. An outdated service can be an unlocked door, a direct entry point for an attack. The digital silence is broken as the hunter begins to knock on every virtual door. With the digital landscape mapped, the reconnaissance phase concludes. Now, the true investigation begins. This is a methodical, intellectual hunt for weakness. The team takes the inventory of every discovered service and cross-references it against immense libraries of known security flaws. These global databases act as a catalog of past digital failures. Each entry contains the blueprint for a potential breach. The work is painstaking, demanding intense focus and precision. They search for one critical match, a known key for an undiscovered lock. This is not the art of the sledgehammer, but the quiet science of the skeleton key. A potential vulnerability is now identified, but a theory is not proof. This begins the fourth and most delicate phase, exploitation. The term is misleading. This is not a destructive assault. Instead, it is a controlled, surgical experiment. The ethical hacker crafts a precise piece of code, designed to interact only with that one specific flaw. The goal is not to break the door down, but to gently test the handle and confirm it was unlocked. A single, silent command pierces the veil, confirming the ghost in the machine is real. The initial breach is just the opening act. Now, the ethical hacker must maintain a foothold. First, they create hidden accounts, installing digital backdoors for easy re-entry. More advanced tools, like rootkits, can hide their presence entirely. From this secure position, they begin to move laterally. Crucially, they erase their tracks, deleting logs to avoid detection. The goal is to become a ghost in the machine. This simulates a real-world, advanced persistent threat. They become a silent echo in the server's hum, a digital ghost woven into the fabric of the network. The battle is over. Now the lessons must be learned. This is the final and most important phase, the report. It begins with a high-level summary for decision makers. Then, it dives into the technical details for the IT teams. Every weakness is cataloged and assigned a risk level. But its true value lies in the recommendations for fixing them. The report gives leadership the clarity to act. It empowers engineers to patch the holes and strengthen defenses. The hacker's mission was not to cause harm, but to prevent it. It is a blueprint for resilience, transforming a story of failure into a fortress of the future. In the digital age, a corporation is a fortress of data. But the greatest threats don't always storm the gates. They often seek the cracks from within. To counter this, a new kind of guardian has emerged. They are the corporate Sentinels. Employed by the very companies they protect, these in-house ethical hackers are a permanent first line of defense. Their mission is to think like an attacker, probing every server, every line of code for vulnerabilities. They are the company's own immune system, securing it from the inside out. Yet even the strongest fortress can have unseen flaws. Familiarity can breed complacency, creating blind spots. This is when organizations look outward for help. They call upon the consultants for hire. These are third-party security firms, external specialists. They're brought in to provide a crucial, unbiased assessment. With no internal politics, their mandate is simple. Find the weakness. They use specialized tools and experience from across industries. Their findings can be uncomfortable, but are invaluable. It is a critical audit from a trusted outsider. In the endless ocean of digital code, hidden monsters lurk in the deep. Every application holds potential weaknesses, vulnerabilities that can be exploited. For decades, companies relied only on internal teams to find these flaws. But the digital world grew too vast, too complex for any single team. A new strategy was needed, sparking a revolutionary shift in thinking. Companies began to invite the world to inspect their systems. This marked the rise of the bug bounty program. The concept is simple. Find a security flaw, get a reward. Ethical hackers hunt for these bugs, not for malice, but for recognition. They report vulnerabilities responsibly, turning adversaries into allies. This new model represents a paradigm shift. Crowdsourced security. It's a defense strategy built on a global, collaborative effort. A single company's security team, no matter how skilled, is limited. But a bounty program taps into a vast, global talent pool. It leverages the skills of thousands of ethical hackers worldwide. Each individual brings a unique perspective and a fresh pair of eyes. A flaw missed by 100 experts might be found by the next. This diversity of thought is its greatest defensive strength. It transforms security from a private task into a public good. A million eyes, a single shield, forging security in a collaborative field, a flaw in the code, a path to unfold. A digital vulnerability is discovered. A door no one knew existed is suddenly found unlocked. At this moment, the discoverer faces a critical choice: exploit the weakness or protect the system. Ethical hackers choose a different path, governed by a professional code of conduct. This is the principle of responsible disclosure. Instead of announcing the flaw to the public, they report it privately, directly to the software vendor. This gives the company a crucial head start, a grace period to develop a solution. They can create and test a patch to close the security hole. This ensures millions of users are protected before the danger is ever known. In the quiet of a single keystroke, they choose not to break the world, but to help mend it. The report is sent, and now the waiting begins. This period is a profound test of patience and professionalism. The hacker must remain silent, sometimes for weeks or months. They carry the knowledge of a hidden threat, while the world continues on, oblivious. It is a silent pact, sealed by an email and held together by trust. They must trust the company to take the report seriously and to act responsibly. Trust that engineers are working diligently on a fix. And trust that the company will deploy that fix to protect its users. Any leak, any delay, could have serious consequences. This patient wait is the unseen, ethical core of the white hat hacker. In the digital fortress, a silent war is fought. To test the locks, a master thief is sought. This is the specialized domain of the Red Team. They are a group of ethical hackers, focused purely on offense. Their mission? To mimic the exact tactics of real-world adversaries. They meticulously probe for weaknesses, exploit hidden vulnerabilities, and execute sophisticated, multi-stage attacks. Every simulated breach is a critical lesson, a necessary shadow cast to reveal the weakest points of light. But for every offensive action, there is a defensive reaction. Enter the Blue Team. They are the internal guardians, the system's ever-vigilant Sentinels. This is the organization's dedicated security force, responsible for building and maintaining the digital fortress. They constantly monitor the environment for any suspicious activity. They strengthen systems, patch vulnerabilities, and harden defenses. When an alarm is triggered, they are the first to respond. Their primary test is to detect and neutralize the Red Team's simulation. In this vital exercise, they prepare the organization for any real-world storm. In the theater of cyber warfare, the roles are clearly defined. The Red Team, the ethical attackers, search for weakness. The Blue Team, the diligent defenders, work to repel the threat. Traditionally, these two forces operate in a siloed contest. But a more effective strategy is emerging. This is the concept of a purple team. It isn't a new group, but a new philosophy: cooperation. Attackers share their methods in real time. Defenders can then instantly harden their systems. For in the digital shadows, the truest defense is not a wall, but a bridge. Beyond the battlefield of attack and defense lies the world of professionalism. Here, skill requires a universal measure of competence. This is the role of professional certifications. These are not trophies for thrilling exploits. They are standardized exams of foundational knowledge. A certification signifies a commitment to a strict code of conduct. It ensures a common language and methodology. This shared standard builds critical trust across the industry. It marks an individual as a vetted, reliable expert. It is the quiet credential that speaks louder than any digital boast. In the world of ethical hacking, claims are meaningless without proof. For those seeking to prove their mastery, one challenge stands above all others. It is called the Offensive Security Certified Professional, or OSCP. This is not a multiple-choice test. It is a digital crucible. Candidates are given 24 hours to breach a series of machines. The clock is a relentless enemy. The pressure is immense. Success demands creativity and sheer persistence under fire. Those who succeed earn more than just a certificate. It is a badge of honor, forged in sleeplessness and code. But a victory like the OSCP is just a moment in time. For in this digital ocean, the currents of knowledge are ever shifting. The technology of today becomes the vulnerability of tomorrow. An ethical hacker's education, therefore, never truly ends. It becomes a quiet daily discipline. It is the constant scanning of new research papers. It is the late-night practice in a personal home lab. It is the humble admission that you will never know everything. This culture of continuous learning is the true foundation. It's about a lifetime of quiet, constant dedication. In the world of ethical hacking, the first rule is permission. A formal agreement defines the battlefield. This is authorized testing. A sanctioned mission to find weaknesses before criminals do. But the digital world has no fences. A single command can lead a hacker beyond the authorized scope. This is the ethical gray line. What happens when a test reveals a path into a connected but out-of-scope system? This is where the machine stops and the conscience starts. For in this digital frontier, the most important code is the one you live by. To find a critical flaw in a system is to hold a key of immense power, a single vulnerability, a secret door that could grant access to untold information. This is the temptation of knowledge. With this power comes a choice, a fundamental test of character. Does the hacker use this key for personal gain or follow a different path? This is the principal decision at the core of the profession. It's a silent debate between opportunity and integrity. They understand the value of the discovery lies not in its exploitation. They trade the thrill of the breach for the quiet honor of being a guardian. True power is not found in the locks you can break, but in the trust you choose to build. In the digital architecture that runs our world, a single, flawed instruction can exist unseen. But to the person who finds it, that knowledge carries an immense weight. It's the burden of knowing millions are vulnerable. This pressure is managed not with panic, but with disciplined professionalism. They follow a methodical process, transforming a crisis into a controlled solution. In the quiet hum of servers, they stand as silent guardians over a fragile digital world, a threat with no patch, a lock with no key. This is the enigma of the 0 day. It is the ghost in the machine, a perfect weapon forged in silence. It's a vulnerability unknown to its own creators. And because it's unknown, it is priceless. Nations and criminals alike covet these flaws. Its discovery presents a profound ethical dilemma. Do you disclose it to the vendor to be fixed? Or sell it on a market where it will be weaponized? The choice can change the digital landscape forever. A flaw unseen, a digital disease. In the world of cybersecurity, this is a 0-day exploit. A vulnerability unknown to its creators, and therefore priceless to those who find it. There is a legitimate market where firms sell these flaws to governments. The stated purpose is defense, to build patches before enemies can attack. But another, darker market operates in the shadows. Here, the buyers are not defenders, but criminals and rogue states. The price can be millions, the potential for chaos immeasurable. And for its discoverer, the code becomes a crucible of conscience. The most sophisticated digital defenses can protect a system, but the strongest lock is useless if the key is given away freely. This is the art of social engineering. It is a non-technical attack that targets human fallibility. An urgent email, a helpful phone call, a friendly message. To truly test a system's security, ethical hackers must also test its people. They use controlled phishing simulations, not to punish, but to educate and empower. Because in the digital age, the strongest defense is a human firewall. In the world of corporate security, the greatest threat often doesn't break down the door. Instead, it calls on the phone, using a familiar voice. This is not a real attack. It's a carefully planned impersonation test. The primary tool is deception, built on a foundation of trust. Posing as a trusted figure like an IT manager or an executive, the social engineer creates a scenario that demands urgent, minor action. Often, the request is fulfilled without a second thought. The goal here is not malicious, it is purely diagnostic. The test is designed to expose gaps in security awareness and training. For in the architecture of defense, a single misplaced trust can compromise the whole design. But the modern fortress has more than just digital walls. Ethical hacking also extends into the physical realm. Here, the tools are not malware, but instruments of physical access. With full authorization, testers attempt to bypass security. They probe the strength of locks, gates, and alarm systems. Crucially, they also test employee vigilance. A successful entry allows them to identify real-world vulnerabilities. Every step of the process tests the integrity of established protocols. The findings are not for blame, but for building a stronger defense. Because a digital firewall is only as secure as the physical door it protects. In our digital age, security often means firewalls and encryption. But what about the physical world? The very doors and hallways? This is where a different kind of audit takes place. It's called a physical penetration test, but it is not an attack. It is a carefully controlled test of procedure. The objective, to see if security policies are being followed. They are not a villain, but an auditor in disguise. They are looking for gaps not in technology, but in human process. Every observation is documented with calm, analytical precision. For the strongest fortress is only as secure as the procedures that govern it. After a successful test, the real work begins. The breach is not an ending, but the beginning of a stronger defense. They sit down with the company, not as an adversary, but as a partner. The report they present is not an accusation, but a roadmap. Together, they analyze the vulnerabilities that were uncovered. This is the start of a slow, steady process of improvement. Employees are then trained not to foster paranoia, but to build awareness. The hacker transforms from a tester into a trusted consultant. This partnership fosters a culture of continuous security. The result is a smarter, more resilient organization. A simple tap, a private text, a world of data. What comes next? Every day, we perform countless digital actions without a second thought. We check our bank balance, send personal messages, and share our lives online. In these moments, we place our trust in the digital system. But this trust is not built on hope. It is actively defended. Behind these seamless experiences are ethical hackers. They are hired to think like criminals, to find the cracks in the code before malicious actors do. Every vulnerability they find is a disaster averted for us. They're the silent guardians in the machine, our unseen digital shield. Beyond our screens and messages lies the digital nervous system that powers our world. This is the realm of critical infrastructure. Systems that provide our power and purify our water. And transportation networks that move our society. Once mechanical, these systems are now deeply connected online. This brings efficiency, but also immense vulnerability. A single breach here doesn't just steal data, it threatens public safety. Here, ethical hackers work with governments and utility companies. They simulate sophisticated attacks to fortify our most essential services. Their quiet work ensures the lights stay on, a digital shield against chaos. The myth of the hacker is a solitary figure, a lone wolf operating from the shadows. But this popular image is profoundly misleading. In reality, the world of ethical hacking is built on community. It is a vast, interconnected network of minds. Knowledge is its currency, shared freely and rapidly. Digital forums and encrypted mailing lists buzz with activity. The most powerful tools are not secret, but open source. Programmers from around the world contribute to these shared projects. From countless individual threads, a tapestry of collective defense is woven. Names like DEF CON and Black Hat evoke images of dark rooms and digital chaos. But step inside these quiet conferences, and the reality is far different. These are not wild parties, but academic gatherings. They are the premier forums for cybersecurity research. The world's top security professionals convene here. Their purpose is the calm exchange of information. They present groundbreaking research on new defensive techniques. Here, in the quiet exchange of ideas, the future of digital safety is forged. The common image of a hacker is one of isolation. But behind the stereotype lies a hidden truth. A deeply ingrained tradition of mentorship. Experienced hands quietly guide the next generation, transforming raw talent into refined skill. But this teaching goes far beyond technique. The most crucial lesson is the ethical framework. A code of conduct for wielding immense power. They learn to build and protect, not to break and enter. For in this digital wilderness, a single guiding hand can shape a forest of defenders. Beyond the battles of today, a new frontier emerges. 1 trillion silent conversations begin between the things we own, creating our future. This is the Internet of Things, or IoT. Everyday objects now join the global network. But this convenience creates a vast new surface to attack. Each device is a potential doorway for intruders. From smart homes to critical infrastructure, the challenge is securing billions of simple devices. Ethical hackers are the pioneers on this new frontier, racing to map and secure a world we have only just begun to build. Our world is woven with a new kind of thread, the Internet of Things. In our homes and cities, billions of devices promise unprecedented convenience. But this convenience comes with a hidden vulnerability. Many of these devices are rushed to market, built with minimal security. The priority is speed and low cost, not digital safety. This has created a vast, undefended frontier into our private lives. Yet, a new generation of defenders is rising to this challenge. They are ethical hackers, digital guardians working methodically. Their mission is to identify these systemic flaws before they can be exploited. It is a quiet battle to secure the very fabric of our connected existence. The sheer scale of this challenge can overwhelm human defenders alone. To secure billions of endpoints, we need a force multiplier, artificial intelligence. For ethical hackers, AI is a revolutionary tool that automates the search. It analyzes code at speeds no human team could ever match. But every powerful tool is a double-edged sword. The same intelligence that builds shields can sharpen an adversary's weapons. Malicious actors now deploy AI to create sophisticated, evasive attacks. It can launch hyper-personalized phishing campaigns, making deception near perfect. This is the new frontline. A war fought not between people, but between machines. The future of our security will be written in the silent language of algorithms. A digital flood, a rising tide, the modern cyber defender faces an impossible task. Every second, millions of data points arrive, a volume no human team can ever hope to analyze. In this overwhelming noise, the subtle signals of a sophisticated attack can be easily missed. So we automate the defense. We turn to a new kind of guardian, artificial intelligence. AI systems are built to handle this scale. They sift through the torrent, looking for patterns. Through machine learning, the AI establishes a baseline, memorizing the network's normal rhythm. Anything that deviates from that rhythm, an anomaly, is flagged instantly for human review. This empowers the defenders, the blue teams, allowing them to focus on genuine threats. It grants them a form of digital omniscience, seeing the whispers of an attack before they become a roar. AI has become an indispensable sentinel, a tireless watchman on the digital frontier. But this new power does not mean victory. In cybersecurity, there is no final win. It is not a problem that can ever be solved and put away. Instead, it is a continuous, quiet process, a constant state of being. The offense is always probing, testing, searching for a new weakness. The defense is always adapting, patching, and evolving in response. This is the slow and unending race. It is fought not in minutes, but over years. A silent, global contest of strategy, where every move invites a countermove. Success isn't about crossing a finish line, it's about maintaining the balance for one more day. This quiet race is now a fundamental condition of our deeply connected world. It is the silent, breathing rhythm of our digital age, a race with no end, only the next step. In the complex world of code, not all exploration happens in the shadows. This field was born from a fundamental human trait, pure curiosity. The first pioneers weren't driven by malice, but by the simple question, how does this work? As our world became woven with technology, the need to protect these connections grew critical. That initial spark of curiosity evolved. It became a professional, structured discipline, one dedicated to ensuring our digital stability and protection. From a simple inquiry, a new class of digital guardians was forged. The cinematic stereotype is instantly recognizable. A malicious force, sowing digital chaos. But this perception masks a much different reality. For most, the work is quiet and deeply methodical. It is a career built on unwavering principles. Think not of a saboteur, but of an architect, testing the foundations of a digital structure. Or an engineer, meticulously examining every detail for flaws. This is a world of patience, logic, and profound responsibility. This is the true face of modern digital protection. In lines of code, where secrets sleep, a different kind of promise is kept. For the ethical hacker, the prize isn't fame or fortune. It is a hunt through complex digital architecture. They search for a single, hidden fracture. When they discover a flaw, there's a quiet thrill. This isn't the thrill of destruction, but of intellect. They meticulously document their findings in a report. They send it responsibly to the system's owners. In the quiet hum of a server, a silent victory is won. They are the silent sentinels on a digital frontier, the unsung heroes of our modern age. We often imagine heroism as a dramatic, public act, but their heroism is different. It is quiet, meticulous, and preventative. They are the ones who find the weak lock before the thief ever arrives. This unseen work is the bedrock of our society. It allows our global digital infrastructure to function. Their legacy is a world that simply works. In the digital domain where our lives now reside, a hidden war is waged against unseen threats. To understand this conflict, we look to biology. Our bodies contain a brilliant defense network, the immune system. In the world of code, an identical battle unfolds. Its defenders are a unique breed, the ethical hacker. They act as the system's white blood cells, constantly patrolling the network's pathways. They identify weaknesses and help the system build antibodies. They are the silent sentinels, the architects of our digital resilience. So what is the result of this constant vigilance? It is not a loud victory or a grand announcement. It is something far more profound, a specific kind of sound. Listen, it is the steady, low hum of servers, a sign that everything is as it should be. This is the very pulse of a healthy network. The silent, uninterrupted flow of data. Data moving securely, invisibly, reliably. This is the peace their work provides a world. This quiet symphony of security is the sound of a world uninterrupted. From a single spark of inquiry, a digital ghost was born. The story of the hacker begins not with malice, but with an insatiable, restless curiosity. These digital pioneers explored the uncharted territories of a new frontier, pushing systems to their limits simply to understand how they worked. But as this power grew, so did its potential for notoriety. The archetype shifted, becoming a symbol of digital rebellion. Yet from this crucible of public perception, a transformation began. The skills once used for exploration were repurposed for defense. The hacker evolved, forging a new profession, digital guardianship. Today, their collective effort forms an invisible shield. This is not a physical barrier, but a dynamic presence woven into our digital lives. It stands guard over our most sensitive information. Our identities, our finances, our secrets. This shield protects the critical infrastructure that powers our world. It is a constant, silent battle waged against hidden adversaries. Their work is the very bedrock of digital trust. Without it, the convenience of the modern world would crumble. In the silent war of signals, they are the quiet defenders of our digital soul. We live in a world woven from invisible threads of code. Every transaction, every connection, every journey relies on it. This digital architecture is vast and complex. But its strength isn't just in the logic of its lines. It is built on a foundation of profound trust. We trust the system to work, to be secure. This fragile trust, however, faces constant threats. And so a unique group of guardians emerged. They are the ethical hackers. In the unseen architecture of our age, a silent pact is forged. As the world slows and cities dim for the night, their quiet watch begins. These silent guardians stand vigilant. They patrol the quiet digital frontiers. While we close our eyes, they are searching. They ensure the systems that connect us remain stable. They reinforce the invisible shields that protect us, so our homes can be peaceful sanctuaries. and our sleep can be deep and untroubled. Their constant vigilance allows for our collective peace of mind